Hey guys, it's the Plum Dot here and welcome back to my channel for another video. Before we jump into the video, I just want to apologize for the monotoneness and the croakiness of my voice. I am still a little bit sick, so I do apologize for that. But I do promise, despite what my voice may portray, I am super excited for this build. So, today's video is a collab with the lovely AlissaTheSimmer called One Floor Plan, Two Games. So yes, it is a cross-iteration collab, and I have named this small modern The Booth. Now before I get into the backstory of The Booth, let me just say that AlissaTheSimmer is an absolute gem of a person. We started planning this collab probably a month and a half ago, and she sent me a message and was like, hey, do you want to do a collab, a little small build collab? And I was like, yeah, let's do a modern. And she was like, okay, let's pick a floor plan. So we picked a floor plan, like I said, about a month and a half ago, and we were all good to go, ready, set, and I started building about a month and a half ago, and I had some issues, lots of issues. I just couldn't do the build. I couldn't roof the build that we had originally picked. And so a couple weeks ago, I sent AlissaTheSimmer a message and I was like, hey, can we change the floor plan, because I am a mess and I can't figure out the roof for this particular floor plan. And she was like, yeah, no problem. It only takes me about 2 hours to do a build this small. And I was like, 2 hours? What? I can't even pick a wall pattern in 2 hours. I was just a mess. So she graciously said that not a problem, let's change up the floor plan, pick something else, and this is what we ended up with. So I will pop the floor plan that we are both working off of on the screen for you guys to check out. Now, we knew early on that we wanted to do a modern build, but we didn't specify what type of modern. So originally, when we finally decided on this floor plan, I was going to do a very modern house, like minimalist, modern, flat roof, and it just didn't look good to me on this particular floor plan as I was doing it. So I decided to go for more of a funky, modern, contemporary type of build, and this is what we end up with. This is the booth. So my idea when I was building the booth is that it was originally a toll booth, and people had to stop here to pay the toll so they could cross the bridge into the city of Bridgeport. So that was my idea and sort of my backstory that I had in my head. So that corrugated wallpaper that you're seeing at the moment, that was the original toll, and somebody just came along after the toll was gone and decided to make it into a house. So we've got this funky little bright modern house that has the original toll booth still attached to it, and I just thought that was a really cool backstory, and that's what I was thinking of as I was building it. So I was building it for more of an artsy fartsy type of sim, someone who likes bright colors but also modern and clean lines. Now, speaking of modern and clean lines, can you guys guess what gave me the most trouble in this build? If you said the landscaping, you are 110% correct. I don't know what it was. This house isn't even that big, but the landscaping killed me. So what you're going to find is a little bit of a surprise in the screenshot. So what you see in this landscaping at the moment as I'm doing it, it's not how it turns out. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise, because I honestly spent probably 2 hours changing up the landscaping, and nobody wants to watch 2 hours of changing landscaping. That's just not fun for anybody. It wouldn't be fun for me. So I did cut a little bit of my creative process out, because at one point it looked like an overgrown hobbit house. I had so much greenery and so much just crap going on that it really took away from the build, and I really wanted the focus to obviously be the booth. This isn't called the landscaping house, it's called the booth. So I got rid of all the overgrown shrubs and went for something a little bit more streamlined, modern, and clean. Now when I do pop to the interior, you will see a little bit of the backyard and how that turns out and how that looks. But I just had to save you guys from the torture of watching me change my mind for hours. It's never been this bad, I promise. But it got really, really bad. This could have been the landscaping bush house. It was a bit ridiculous. So I hope you guys enjoy the final product, but like I said, make sure to stick around for the screenshots so you can check out how the booth actually turns out. So like I said, I had in mind that this was for an artsy fartsy sim, and she likes to paint, he or she likes to paint and maybe ride their bike into Bridgeport, and it's just a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom little modern house. So as per usual, I start off in the kitchen because I just think that's the heart of the home, or maybe it's just because I am a foodie and I love to eat. But starting off in the kitchen dining area, and I love how it looks. Now I know it's going off of a floor plan, so it's all kind of laid out, but I didn't leave the furniture exactly as it was in the floor plan. I just put my own type of spin on it. So as you can see, I kind of tilted put the dining room table on an angle. I didn't want all straight lines inside, and I just wanted to bring a little bit of the funkiness into this build. So I'm struggling with the uppers. For some reason, it automatically puts corner cabinets into a corner when all I really wanted it to be was straight, but it just wasn't working. So I end up going back and putting uppers all along the kitchen. And I'm just placing down some clutter. It's not really cluttery in this build. I wanted it to keep it quite clean, and I really wanted the wallpaper to be sort of the focus and the furniture to be sort of the focus, not the clutter. So I'm going in and putting in butcher block countertops. That's absolutely one of my favorite things to do, is butcher block. If I ever build my house, and I always feel like I have an if I ever build my own house moment in all of my voiceovers, but if I do ever build my own house, it will have butcher block countertops because I just think they look amazing, and you can use it as a cutting board, so it's kind of like a win-win situation there. And I'm just going through and putting a little distressed wood on the dining room. I really love that sort of look because it looks like you found it and you repurposed it. I like to make builds where things can look like they've been repurposed. So for example, the booth started out as a toll booth, and the dining room table could have been a bit of driftwood that was repurposed. I just love things like that. So I did a little bit of recoloring in the kitchen. I will go back to it momentarily, and when I go and do the wallpapers. And we're just moving on to the living room area. So you've got your standard bookcases, flat screen TV, and that's this is how the living room stays. I throw in that computer table there because I think it's important to have a writing desk or a computer table, and that is pretty much the layout of the front room. I do go in at the end and put in a little easel and also a foosball table because I thought it might be fun to have some parties. The space isn't big, it's not massive, but it is very, very roomy. So I wanted to have a little bit of fun in this house. So if the person that lives here or the sim that lives here wanted to have a little party, there is room to have that. The sim could host dinner parties and then have a little bit of foosball. And I don't know if you guys noticed it, but there's a massive wine rack in the kitchen. So who doesn't like Wine Foosball Fridays? I do. So like I said, this is pretty much the layout of how the front room is, and I think it's really cute. Like I said, there's not a lot going on, but it just seems like a fun space to be in. I really enjoy it. Now, With regards to CC, I did use a little bit of it. The roof is custom content, and I don't know if you noticed, the painting that I just threw down in the front room was custom content by one of my really good friends, Jools. Jools, she went by Joolster on the forums and Jools Simming on Tumblr, so I'll link her links down below. She's not active so much anymore, but she is absolutely incredible. So check out her Tumblr. She's got a lot of hints, tips, and tricks for The Sims 3 and The Sims 4. She's very, very creative, and I actually miss her creating things. So we're just in the one bedroom at the moment. Oh, I choked. I swallowed wrong and that went down the wrong hole. I'm really sorry. We're just in the one bedroom at the moment, and I'm putting on my favorite cow pattern. I just love cow patterns. I don't know what it is about them because I'm not a big fan of cows. I mean, I like to eat them, but as far as looking at them, not so much. But I do like cow patterns. So I'm just going through and recoloring everything. It's not very cluttered because, again, it's not a very big space, but it does what it's meant to do. It's a bedroom. It functions as a bedroom. There's a little place to chill if you want to sit in a chair and read in there, but that's about it. You sleep, you eat, or you don't eat in the bedroom, I'm sorry. You sleep and you read, check yourself out in the mirror, and then you spend most of your time in the kitchen and the front room, and that's about it. And oh, there is my favorite rug that I use in almost every one of my builds. Love that rug. If you guys don't have, I believe it came with a store set that came with Aurora Skies. I think it's the Tiny Tots Prodigy Center. That rug is bae. I love that rug. So just in the teeny tiny bathroom at the moment, laying everything down, but again, it functions. You've got your shower, you've got your sink, and your toilet. You can do your business and be on your way. And I'm just doing the little front entryway because I didn't want to leave it blank because the entryway is actually quite big. So I just wanted to put in some sculptures, maybe a little clock, although I do move that clock in a moment. And I do apologize that this video is quite jumpy. Because what I did was I laid down most of the furniture in all of the rooms, and then I went back to recolor things. And here's one thing that I rarely ever do in my builds. I put down curtains everywhere, and I'm very proud of myself. So there is a bit of privacy to the booth, and I just think it turns out very cool. I do really like how the booth turned out. So just going through, recoloring everything. There I've moved the clock because I just wanted the focus to be on those two paintings and the sculptures in the front room. And I have to say, before I do end this video, you guys, there's two things in here that you will not notice. There is no lime green and there is no exposed brick. And I am very proud of myself for the no exposed brick thing, because you will see that I have a moment where I'm like, let's do some exposed brick. It is a modern after all, why not? Like, modern and exposed brickwork, they go hand in hand. So here I go, thinking, yeah, I'm gonna go with some exposed brickwork in the kitchen. And then I got a brilliant idea. So the booth, the original toll booth, was sort of this corrugated copper steel type thing. Why not use that for the backsplash in the kitchen and as sort of a feature wall? So I used this awesome corrugated wallpaper, and I love that as a backsplash. Honestly, ideal kitchen right here. I love the purple counters with the butcher block countertop and the corrugated backsplash. There's not much left going on. I'm just gonna go through and put all the wall patterns on, but as you can see, there's not a lot of indecision. Another thing that I'm really proud about, I'm really proud of myself for doing. There's not a lot of indecision. I kind of knew what I wanted to do. So I think I'm going to love you and leave you guys for the rest of the video with some music. If you enjoyed the booth, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And guys, don't forget to go and check out AlissaTheSimmer's video and her channel. I will be leaving all her links down below. And if you guys aren't already subscribed and you like what you see, why don't you go ahead and hit that button. Don't be a plum stranger now, guys.